What up, YouTube? MostlyNerdy here. Gonna get ready to cry and die in Dark Souls 3. This is right after we beat the Abyss Watchers. We go from the bonfire down the stairs and into the Catacombs of Carthus. So, something to note about these enemies that I was unaware of was the fact that you come up and you're like, oh, skeleton, how cliche. I'm gonna beat the skeleton, and then, oh look, he just falls apart. And then there's this item I'm gonna run and pick up, and we'll pick that up and then turn around and look at this guy. He will not stay down. So, note that the skeletons will sometimes get back up. A way to know if they're going to get back up is if you don't get souls, they're going to get back up. If you get souls, then they're dead. And some of the other enemies actually do this too. So we come across this bridge, we'll see this guy. And this fight is no joke until you kind of learn his moves. One thing, he causes bleed even whenever you are blocking, so be aware of that. And also, if you can, try to fight this guy not on the bridge. Especially if you have a tendency to jump around like I do, you're just going to fall to your death, like I do. So, take this guy out, and then we will see that he drops a large Titanite shard. So, we're going to start getting those, so you can start reinforcing your weapons better. I'm going to transition here because I died, and I'll tell you why I died. Because I don't listen to myself. So once you get to a certain point, a couple of these skeletons show up. And I tried to fight them on the bridge, which I'm still fighting them on the bridge, but I fell. I jumped, and I died. So, I know it's hard to listen to me because, one, I'm annoying, two, I think I'm funnier than I am, and three, I sound like I'm not giving that great of advice, but don't fall to your death. It's that simple. It's pretty easy, actually. I don't know why I can't do it. Anyway, so go through that doorway and take these stairs, and there's a skeleton waiting for you. It's part of a skeleton. He's missing his head, but he's there. You can check and see if you got your souls and see if he's going to come back or not. And he did come back, and that's me not listening to my own advice. But there is another skeleton up at the top. You should have seen him materialize or whatever. But we're going to head down this pathway. Watch out for the dude with the bow and arrow, because he's going to try to take you out. But anyway, finish him off. He's actually not going to come back. Good news for me. Read this note. Trap ahead. I'm assuming that that thing on the ground there is a trap. If you step on that, you probably get hit by some stuff. So, ladder right here. Gonna go down, see what's going on down in the bunker of the catacombs. Hey, an item right next to the ladder here. Souls, always good. Nothing that way, so we'll just head down this way. And now I'm super paranoid about traps, so I'm assuming that there's traps all over this place at this point. But we can come forward, and there's another note right there. We'll see what's going on here. Maybe I'll grab that item first. But you can see that there's a enemy straight ahead. See if we can sneak up and get a quick attack on him before he even realizes that I'm here. Also, I'm a wimp, so I'm trying to sucker punch. But this enemy is a new enemy. He's kind of like the first enemy on the bridge. Pretty easy to die, pretty powerful. What is different about this guy is he is super agile, so he jumps around a lot, and that just makes him all the more difficult to take out. And after you take him out, you can see that there's an illusion wall right there. I'm going to pick up this item real quick. That's a sharp gem. That's going to be good for your weapons. You're going to like that one. So, come through the illusion wall, and see if we can get a backstab. Nope, that was too loud. So whenever you come through this illusion wall, there's an item right here, and that's a tome. So good. Apparently I didn't kill that guy. I wasn't paying attention to if I got souls or not. But you pick up that tome, get rid of that skeleton. If you come through this walkway and take this guy out, and be careful because you'll fall and die, because I did. But this actually takes you to the bridge area from the beginning. That's the bridge right there. And you can actually drop down on some platforms to be a shortcut to get through here, which I learned that after actually running through this way. So nothing going on after you beat this guy and pick up your items. And you come through here and you see that enemy right there, and I'm going to transition because that guy killed me because he's dangerous. Still trying to do the same technique. What I would do is divide and conquer, because there's actually a second one in here, and that is why I ended up dying. So try to get them to come in one at a time or something. That way you don't have to take two of them on at once, because if you try to take on both of them at the same time, that is a concoction for some blood loss. So try to get them one at a time, like I said, and it'll make your life a lot easier in this area. So try to get backstabs. After fighting these guys a couple times, you start learning their attacks and their tendencies and all that stuff. And the good thing about these guys is that even after you kill them and pick up like the large Titanite shard or anything like that, you still get regular Titanite shards every time you kill these guys. I don't remember a time where I didn't, so I want to assume that it's every time. And I've ran through this quite a few times, dying quite a few times. So if you take this guy out, you should get another Titanite shard, like so. And we will go into that room that they were in, that they protected so well. And there's kind of a fork here. There's this area that has some stairs, and then you can see off into the distance there's one of those little guys that'll give you some Titanite something or other, and then the stairs that go down. So I actually want to go grab that stuff because I am dying to know what it is. So we can see that there's that opening right there, but I see something glowing in the corner here, and you can pick that up, and it's 2 Titanite shards. There are Titanite shards all over this place apparently. So come through here, and you'll see that these skeletons pop up. Good thing about these skeletons is there's 4 of them, but they die. They actually die. They don't come back after you kill them. Doesn't seem much like Dark Souls to make an area easier or enemy easier for any reason, but they did it. And I'm going to transition because the first time I ran through here, something didn't happen that happened later as I ran through. This character right here is the character from the bonfire at the Road of Sacrifice, or the Halfway Fortress, whichever. And she's looking for her partner, but she didn't trigger the first time I went through here because I hadn't talked to her at Firelink Shrine. So if she doesn't show up and you haven't talked to her at Firelink Shrine, and then she'll pop up. I just wanted to show people that she was there. So after that, come up, hit this thing, try to get your Titanite, and he runs away, and I thought I didn't get it, but it actually pops up. So I think like he fell to his death or something. So like finally, enemy falls to his death instead of me. So pick up your stuff and then go ahead and head back to that room we were just in, because we are going to head down those stairs that we were staring at and getting shot at and stuff while we were looking at them. So just head towards that area and we'll go down these stairs. See some guys off in the distance. So I heard something there, and I kind of freaked out, and it was that thing. So I got lucky there. There's an ember, and you can see that there's that that ball that's coming after you. Look at all the arrows sticking out at me too. Anyway, so looks like that ball just kind of keeps coming. So you can avoid it and run off to the side here, and we're gonna come down this hallway and another area where I am super paranoid about traps and stuff, and there's skeletons, so I should have been worried about the skeletons apparently, and there's some sort of blob coming at me too. Souls maybe, since it's Dark Souls, I assume that they're souls. But I just keep triggering these guys to pop up. So took me a while to figure out where those were coming from. It's actually that skeleton off in the back that's throwing them at me, so he will attack you from a distance. Good thing is that I don't think those things do a whole bunch of damage to you or anything like that. So that guy didn't actually die, so I wait to kill him, just because I assume that there's going to be more coming up. And I'll grab this item that the enemy left, and it was a weapon, so nice. So after you take out all those guys and stake your claim to this area, or whatever it is you're doing, I don't know. You can tell I'm still paranoid about traps and more enemies. But you take that corner and there's a guy right there that's going to throw more at you. He died immediately, got my soul, so you can see that this is the path you're probably going to take, but I saw something glowing there. So go ahead and break through these, and just kind of make a V line for the item. I'm not sure if any of these have stuff in them or anything like that, any items in here. Probably be pretty cool. If I was developing a game, that's where I would put stuff, basically. That's what I think about everything, though. I would think that there was something everywhere. And, well, yeah, there was something in that one. It was a bad guy, so, and in that one, so, just be aware that if you jump around and stuff, or you're breaking a bunch of these, you're probably going to run into some of those guys. Maybe it's a specific type of jar or something. And there's another trap right there. I see it. I see you, trap. And you didn't get me. So saw a guy right here. See if we can get a backstab. And on him, nope. I'm too loud. Oh, and there's a guy too. I'm gonna run away and see if I can get him to step on the trap. He didn't step on the trap. He's too smart. Either that or they can't trigger it. I don't know. Something. Anyway, take that guy out. And this is one of the moments where I was telling you about how these guys can come back too. That guy came back. So, like I said, be aware that they can do that. And once you take him out, there were like I think it was a couple. Oh, I just broke that too. And yeah, there was. Oh, I guess I thought I saw another one, but there is another one. So, premonition. That was a premonition that there was another one. Apparently. So apparently can't go that way. I'm sure you could probably drop down there, but probably take some damage. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to go towards this item, and I see that there are two big guys. So I am going to divide and conquer yet again. And there's a trap right there, it looks like. So, see if I can make sure. I'm going to run back a little bit further to make sure that I actually do the divide and conquer instead of saying I'm going to do it and then dying. So by now I'm sure that you have gotten pretty used to this guy and his attacks and everything, so nothing special. It's just a lot easier by splitting them up. So once you take this guy out, which probably won't take as long as it took me, even with the backstabs, it's just that my technique with these guys is a little more defensive than what most people probably go with. There's another one back here, and there is that trap right there, so you can try to lure him over to you. See if he'll step on it. Nope, he didn't step on it, so I don't think that they can step on him, so just go for backstabs. The bigger guys are probably pretty easy to get the backstabs on. And take him out. That was a heck of a lot easier than the last guy, or at least it didn't take quite as long. So I see an item off in the distance that I want to grab, but I don't know who they're trying to trick with this hole right here. So you can obviously run around the hole and pick up an ember, and I'm not even going to drop down there because I can tell that it's too far and I'm going to take damage. And that guy just scared the living heck out of me. And I heard that drop, so another ball, awesome. So pick this up. Oh, that's a good one, I'll need that. Since the other one came back at me, I'm assuming that one's going to come back at me, and it does. So, but there's a bonfire right there, so good news for us. We made it to another bonfire, which is always welcoming. So, light the bonfire, rest, whatever you want to do. And that's apparently where one of the balls hits a fence, so we can kind of see where we are in terms of where everything else is. And so that's a non-death transition, guys. I want you to know I didn't die standing next to the bonfire, so we'll let that go past, and we will go this way and see what's going on. And there's some rats immediately right there. Oh, whoa, look how close that was. That's a dangerous game, guys, so apparently you don't have that much time to make it through that pathway before the ball will come back to you, so make sure that you sprint your way through there so you don't end up almost squished like me. So we'll just go down this path that's right in front of us, and I am aware of what's going to happen, so something drops down behind me, and it is more of these guys that are susceptible to fire. If you went through the cathedral, then you're familiar with these guys. They're pretty insignificant in terms of how much damage they do or anything like that. But sometimes, specifically since they're coming from the ceiling, if they get you wrapped up, that'll do a little bit of damage, but their normal attacks don't really damage you that much. But it seems like there is a lot of them here, and if you come down this way, this is another new enemy. I have no idea what this guy's called, but he looks like a Hot Wheel. So, well, he's a wheel and he's mad, so I'm gonna call him a Hot Wheeler. You're a Hot Wheeler guy. Welcome to Dark Souls, Hot Wheeler. Anyway, so apparently you got the Hot Wheelers and you got the other guys back here. So you don't really have to fight these guys if you don't have good pyromancer or anything with fire in it. Probably not worth it to even do any damage to them, because you can see you don't get that many souls, and it kind of takes a while to kill them if you're just doing straight melee attacks. I'm gonna try to sneak up on this guy, see if I can sneak up. Ha! Oh, no. I didn't know there was another guy right there. He scared me too. Dark Souls is full of jump scares. This is Five Nights at Dark Souls. So, once you take these guys out, I am apparently unable to do any more Pyromancer because I have not upgraded my FP once since I started playing. Anyway, you can take all these guys out, see what's going on back here. There must have been a reason that they had all these guys back here. And I thought I had my shield out, but I don't. I'm still set for Pyromancer. There we go. Now that all of them are dead, I have my shield out again. That makes a lot of sense. Be wary of up. Thanks for the heads up because something just dropped almost right on top of me. Maybe that was who they were talking about. But I guess pick up that item and then, oh, this guy came out of nowhere. I'm getting scared watching my own gameplay right now. So I apparently forgot about all these guys coming out of nowhere to attack me. I'm assuming that that enemy is triggered by picking up the item, but I did get a weapon, so that's actually kind of worth it. So we'll just head back to the main area that we came through, almost getting squished to death, and we'll see what's going on in this area. So looks like there's enemies up ahead and an item up ahead and then some pathways to the right. So we can pick up this item right here and we will fight this guy who is one of the agile ones. So be aware of his agility and his ability to kick your butt because that's what he did to me. He does have a ranged attack, which I did not run into until fighting this one. He will throw they're throwing knives, but I think they're actually the kukris that one of them dropped whenever I was fighting. You can see I got blood loss there, so since he is so agile and he attacks so aggressively, it builds up pretty quickly. And you can see that I picked up more Titanite and more items from him, so what we'll do is we'll check out what's going on these stairs here and come up, and we'll see that there are enemies right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a death transition because I died again. So once you come up here, there's this guy and then you're getting shot with arrows. But the way I died was from that guy. So it's another agile enemy, and at first I thought fighting him in this pathway was a bad idea, but I actually think it's probably beneficial for you because he can't really jump around that much. So once you take him out, there is that other enemy that is off to the right, but you probably want to focus on this guy first because he will attack you from a distance. And you get your Titanite shard, and you can see that there's an item there and a trap. And I learned what the traps do. You step on the traps and they shoot arrows, and you can actually hit enemies with it. So this area is actually the top where you fought the two enemies right before the bonfire. So this is the other side of that area. So I see an item here and enemy, and it is another one of these guys that is agile. So go ahead and take him out. This particular area seems to have a lot more of these guys. Like, I'd only fought one before, and now I'm fighting, I fought 3 just in this area. So you can take him out, and in true Dark Souls fashion, he didn't actually die, he's going to come back. I don't know if they have a preset determining factors of if this person's going to come back or not, but he came back and actually got a backstab in on him, so I'm the best at Dark Souls for the next 2 seconds. Pick up your items, and there's some more items off to the side here. Large Titanite shard. So, starting to get them actually fairly frequently now. This guy's hiding in the corner. I think that's the guy from the first set of stairs that I killed. but I guess I didn't kill him, so pick that up. That's some ashes for you to take to Firelink Shrine. Awesome. Anything that can make it so you can buy more stuff. This is an illusion wall, and there was a note there telling you that. But so you can see over here, for some reason I got another item. I don't know what happened, but there's a crab. Go ahead and kill the crab. That's the kind of crab I can actually beat. There's a dark gem right there, so you can pick that up. I'm not sure if I just missed that or if it actually just popped up. Maybe some sort of trigger up there that we were just in. But anyway, so come through here and you see one of these little guys that'll give you some of the Titanite stuff. So take him out or let him glitch through the wall, and then you get a fire gem. So if you can make him glitch through the wall, you get a fire gem. I don't know if that's what he gives every time, I assume. Just because it messed up one way doesn't mean it's going to mess up again. So I'm going to go for a backstab on this guy and kick him down. Yeah, I made another guy fall to his death instead of me falling to my death. I'm on a roll, that's 2, and I've only died falling to my death like 6 times in this area. That's a pretty good ratio for me. I see a couple items in here, and I see a lot of bones, so I'm assuming there's going to be some skeletons. But pick up the souls, and then the other item, and then there's some skeletons in here. Looks like it's just 2 of them. I thought there would be more, because there's bones all over the place. But there's a skeleton there, and there's a lever next to the skeleton, so we'll go ahead and pull the lever, see what happens. So pull that, and I assume that the bars are going to go up. Yes, they are. And let's see, there's an item here, some more ember, and see where this takes us. I assume that, yeah. So it takes us back to the main area we were just in. So from this area, I mean, you can obviously just run back through the gate that you just opened up, or you can just run back like I did for some reason. This is actually another playthrough for me, so that guy's back. And by playthrough, I mean I died. So there's that item there. I actually am glad that I went through here again, because and make that guy fall to his death again. That's 3 for 6. But there's a yellow bug pellet, so pick that up. It's easy to miss because it's kind of off in the corner. And then we are back where we were, and there's more skeletons, actually the same skeletons that you can take out, and they both died. So now there's one path we haven't taken, and that's that one towards the bridge. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition again, because there is another thing I missed the first time I ran through this area, and it is the NPC right there again. You can talk to her again, say you still haven't seen Horus. So she goes through her whole spiel, and then I just want to show you guys that by talking to her, I assume by talking to her, this happens. You see what's going on down there? There's a whole bunch of skeletons. So they actually get triggered by something else, but look at that, I got rid of them so quickly. But anyway, so there's a path you can take right there on the right. You can drop down to that path, or you can take this bridge, and this is what actually triggers the enemies to show up. So what you want to do is kind of sprint away and then cut the bridge, cut the rope. I don't know where the rope is, so I'm just kind of blindly swinging, but then they'll fall. And this actually, whenever they fall, they still get you some souls. So if you want to, you can try to let them pile up on the bridge and then get some more souls. It's up to you. If you want to, you can again Jason Statham this whole situation and just try to fight them all at once. I wouldn't recommend it though. This is the path I was talking to you about before. You would drop down on this path and then you wouldn't have to take the bridge at all. But you're going to want to cut the bridge anyway, because I've made it a little bit further than this at this point, and it progresses you somewhat in a certain way, certain direction. But we're going to come up this way first and read these messages and not really pay attention to what they say, because for as much as I say that they're helpful, sometimes I just am curious what they say and I don't really care what they say. So it's like a curiosity where it doesn't matter. I don't know, it's weird. But you can see that this area is kind of wide open with no enemies. So in any video game, the first thing I think is this is a boss fight. So like a true wimp, I'm running around trying to find a way that I don't have to fight this boss. And you can see that something popped up right there. But I'm just going to go up these stairs and be like, oh, I can trigger it. And it says, fine work. I didn't do anything yet, but thank you. So I skipped a cutscene there. So this is what happens whenever your cutscene's over. There's an item there that you're going to pick up, and then yep, so that's a guy. So he's got his hands down on the ground, so I start hacking away at his hands, and I'm like, oh man, I am not doing any damage to this guy. But like any big boss with two arms on the side that they've really put focus on, you're going to attack the arms and try to just hack away a little bit. But what I've learned about halfway through this fight is that you're going to go for the bracelets that are on his wrist. So they're putting a lot of focus on the arms, but they're doing it with the bracelets. So try to hit those bracelets. And I'm saying this before it actually happens so that you don't waste a bunch of time not hitting the bracelets, because you can see how many times I've hit that guy already and it has not done that much damage to him. But as you do that, and you can see how much health went away once you hit the bracelet. So basically focus on that. Try to just avoid all the other skeletons. I know easier said than done sometimes whenever you're also trying to dodge a giant hand coming down at you, but just keep good, focus on your health. You saw how close I was to dying there, and your stamina so that you can avoid attacks. And then at one point I think he had some mist or fog or something that was damaging me, so be aware of that too. But I think for the most part I fought like a wimp and I avoided that. So if you fight like me with no pride or anything, and you don't care if you look like a wimp on YouTube, then you're probably okay. So I got two of them down, and then there's one left on his wrist that has a sword. So keep an eye on your stamina so you can avoid those attacks. At this point I got stuck in a corner and got turned around, so that's possible. It is kind of dark. I keep getting hit by that attack. I don't know what the range is on it, but it is pretty powerful too. But I'm out of Estus, so I'm going for broke, and I'm missing, so just keep hacking away. Hope that he doesn't pick up his hand. And then he missed me by about a millimeter. And you can see that once you get all three of them, he's done. And then there will be another cutscene, even though this guy's still chasing me. so I'll skip that cutscene for you. So you did it. I did it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. That's one boss down. There's a fork coming up. There's 2 different paths you can take, so I'll show you how to get to each path up to the next bonfire. One of the bonfires is really close, the other one not so much. So I'll show you how to get to those. So I'll show you the one that's the closest first, because it's really uneventful and there's nothing really going on in between. There's no items, I don't think, unless I missed them. So there's nothing in the corner there. So you can just go up the stairs. You can read the messages if you want. And there's actually a message that has some of the highest appraisal I've seen. Actually the highest I've seen. And it's very warranted. So it's this one right here about the view. And I will comment that that is probably one of the most awesome backdrops to any video game I've ever played. So very true on the message there. But there's the bonfire, so nothing really going on in between. So I will go ahead and show you the next one. So we are here at the bridge that we cut down. You can actually climb down and take this path, and we'll come down here and we'll see that there is an opening right here. We will head towards it, and you can see some souls that I have to pick up because I died. And you're gonna think that I died because of that guy? No, I died because some meanie decided to invade my world and kill me. But I actually noticed something whenever I was fighting this guy, and I don't know what's going on, but he would charge me and then back up. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So he shoots his fire at you, tries to get you from a distance, charges at you, and then backs up. I'm not sure what happens, but you can get some attacks in on him before he attacks you again, because until he gets to the bottom of those stairs, he just keeps backing up no matter if you hit him or not. So this may be a way to cheese the game a little bit. There were a couple times where he attacked me after he got up there, but then he would just back up again. So if you're having difficulty with this enemy, you might want to try this technique. If it doesn't work this way for you, then you might have to fight him the same way you fought the fire demon at the Undead Settlement, I think is where he was. But if it is working for you, then you can kind of just rinse and repeat here and just get your attacks in. If you are playing with a build that's good for ranged attacks, obviously that's going to work, because you can actually just get him stuck there and hit him from a distance. But this made this fight a lot easier, because at this point you can see I've had to hit him quite a few times before he's dying. So let him charge at you and then just hack away at him, and eventually he'll go down like so, and then you'll get a soul. So once he's gone, you can run, and I'm checking for illusion walls, but there's nothing to tell me that there's illusion walls. I think I'm just riding a high right now, because I'm like, I figured out a way to game the system on Dark Souls. So now I think that I know everything about Dark Souls. But if you do come down here and fight the fire demon like that, just know that there are a couple skeletons that are going to pop up, so that will add a little bit of difficulty to your fight. And then down here, there are a couple of skeletons, and I thought I was going to be cool and drop down and attack. That was not a good strategy, because I just brought a lot more skeletons to fight at once now. Not only did I have to fight all these skeletons all at once because of my poor strategy, all these skeletons come back. So once you kill them once, you have to kill them again, and it's a lot at the same time. I don't even bring up all of them at once because there's some in the corner that I haven't gotten close enough to yet, but this could be an easy spot to get overwhelmed by the number of enemies if you have no strategy like me. So pick up your item, and then there's another item off in the corner, and we'll go pick that up, and you can see that even another skeleton shows up. Um, Obviously, you probably don't even have to fight these skeletons, you can probably just ignore them, but there's actually two right there, so they are fairly easy for souls if you're pretty close to a soul count where you're about to get to another level. But if you're not and you don't want to have to deal with them coming back so many times, you can always just go through that opening, and then after you clear this area of all the skeletons that would not give up, like they were in their own inspirational movie about this jerk who keeps coming up and killing them every time they stand up. You can go through that doorway, and then there's an item in the corner here, and you can pick that up. I was certain that there was a trap there, but apparently not. And then we are at the next bonfire, and we'll go ahead and say that we're done with this area. We have both of the paths taken care of, so like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff that YouTubers say, and thanks for watching, and as always, stay nerdy, guys.